All right, so in the last few lessons, we've talked about different data types. We've talked about integers, right? We can validate it is an integer with type. We've talked about floating points, also known as decimals. And we've talked about character strings. And we even got introduced to some Booleans, which are just true, false, right? So these are individual data types, but most of the time when we're doing any kind of data analysis, we have multiple values, right? Whether it's a bunch of people's weights that we're going to analyze, or we have a bunch of transactions at a store, and we have the actual total sale price for that transaction, right? We have multiple of those that we want to analyze. So we often have to, basically hold multiple data types in some kind of a structure. And Python has several built-in what we call compound types, which act as containers for these data types, right? They can hold multiple data types. Now, there's a whole bunch of these data structures. We're going to just kind of stick to some of the basic ones to get going. We're going to look at lists. We're going to look at tuples and dictionaries. There are others. There's others that are built into Python, and there's even others that are provided by third-party packages such as NumPy's arrays and series and data frames that are offered by Pandas, which we'll get into in later lessons. But for right now, we're just going to stick to these three basic data structures. And you will notice something, that the brackets actually have distinct meanings. You can see here in these examples, we have a square bracket for lists, we have round parenthesis-like bracket for tuples, and then we have curly braces for dictionaries. And these have distinct meanings within Python. So we're going to actually go ahead and work through some of these three different data types, and we're going to talk about how do we create the data structure, how do we actually do some indexing with it to pull information out of it, how do we change or can we change any of these objects once we've created them. So read on to the next few lessons, and we'll get into working with these three different data structures.